Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. If you remember, in the last episode we were attempting to repair the lower inlet manifold Twinport flaps, and we'd dremeled out the insides of the bits on the shaft, of the bearing locations on the shaft. So we're going to pick up where we left off, and we're going to be taking the little lugs off of the posts on the valves themselves and fit the bearings. So let's get on with it. Right, let's see what we can do with these little that came off really easily. Just gonna have a look. I want a little bit more work on that one. Again, test fit the bearings. This time obviously I've got to go over the shafts. That actually went on there quite nicely. It's actually quite... Again, I'm getting me... It's a bit tricky with the gloves. That's absolutely perfect, actually. Absolutely perfect. So, we'll crack on and do the others. Trial fit on there. Oh yeah, probably got a little bit far with that one now, but so our bearings fit on each of these. Bearings fit in here. So now I'm going to give everything a good clean. Pop indoors, get a little cocktail stick so we can put tiny little bit of bearing sealer on it, because obviously if we look at the bearing here, we only want to get it on this surface. We don't want to get it on the flat sides, because obviously that will get in there in the race and it will seize it up. So we just need a tiny little speck on there and on the inner surface. Okay, I've decided before we clean this up, there's another problem with this manifold, and if we look in there, you can see all these ports. This is the exhaust gas recirculation ports are blocked with gunge, and all this is gunged up here. So before I start putting the bearings on, I'm going to clean this out. Right, it's going to be a little bit careful with this. We can't just put it in the, it's just solid in there. We can't just put it in the parts cleaner, because obviously we don't want to get the injectors and the injector wiring and stuff wet. So I'm going to do this by hand. there is so much crud in there. It's unbelievable. You can see it on the video. And it's just, I've seen them worse. I've seen them where these whole channels are blocked up, to be honest. But this is bad enough. It's bad enough to stop it working properly. So what I'm just going to do now is just wash these little bits out here where we let that evaporate off. Gives me an excuse to wipe the worktop down again now, doesn't it? So I've just given that a blast to get rid of any grease that's in there. Happy days. We'll let that dry off. And then we just give these a little blast over as well. Still got some muck on there coming out of the manifold. So I'm just going to give these a little, oops, wrong bit. Obviously the important thing to do when we put all this back is to make sure that these are all pointing the same way. Right, we'll leave it there for now. I'm going to let that dry off. Go and have a cup of coffee, and we'll be right back and assemble all this back together again. Right, got a couple of little cocktail sticks here, and better get this out of the packet, this bearing glue. That's all nicely cleaned and dried out now. I'm just wondering, I think I might fit it and then drop the bearings over in one go. I don't know whether I've got little bits of dirt on that bearing or what's going on with it, but we'll get the others out of the packet. Just have a look. whether that's just the tiny little bits we can see inside. I think there might be some little bits of dirt in that one. Yes, little bits of dirt on the end of the cocktail stick there. So let's give this a little shake up. I think what we'll do is put some on the back of the card there. Just use the card, put a couple of little blobs of as is typical, you've got to cut the tip off the bowl. It might help, might get some out. So I'll just put the tiniest little blob on the card there, and then we'll dip the cocktail stick in, and just put a tiny. I'm just going to put the tiniest little bit on. Put a few blobs of that all the way around. And a tiny little bit on the inside. And hopefully we can just drop those in there like that. Well, that went in quite easily. I'm just hoping this sealer is going to seal these bearings in nicely. Didn't read the instructions of the curing time, but it's difficult to get it. Very difficult to get it inside because it's so tiny. You've got a whole part of it, and that one's a much tighter fit. Does it work? Oh, it looks good. If it's going to stay in, will be great. It'll be really good. So just dab some more on that one. A little bit on the inside. A little bit worried about that one. It's a little bit loose, but we'll see how we go. What I'm just wondering now is to run a little bit more of that round there, if I can get some round without getting it on the bearing surfaces. It'd be so good if I could get some around there. So I was just going to run some around the outside of the bearings if I can. Not scrape it on there. We'll just have a check on the packet in a moment, the curing times for this, because obviously we don't want to. It says 15 minutes, so I'm going to leave that for 15 minutes and come back to it shortly. Well, after 15 minutes, believe it or not, and hopefully that will set those bearings in place. I don't think there's a lot more I can do to it now. I'm just hoping I haven't got any of that sealer in that bearing there, because that one is quite slack compared to the others. See how it goes. Okay, I think that's a good place to leave this video now. As you can see, it's quite a fiddly little job. It did go on a bit towards the end, but I just wanted you to see how fiddly it was to get those little bearings in place. Hope you've all found it useful. If you have, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll be putting another video up this Friday where hopefully we'll finalise fitting all the bits and pieces back to this lower inlet manifold and getting it back on the car. Hope to see you again soon. Until then, it's goodbye from me.